Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. I had so much fun playing with my jelly plate the other day, I thought we'd play again. This time we're going to work with a rose stencil. I hope you'll stay tuned. So I got this stencil from one of my viewers. I'm not sure where she got it, but it was nice that she sent it to me. My jelly plate is a 6" by 6" jelly plate, and I bought it from Amazon, and there's the info on it in case you are looking to get one. It was a little bit over $11. And then the base I had made from my local glass company, it's 7" by 7", and it's 3/8 of an inch thick. It was $4. You can't beat that price for a piece that's going to make it so that I can flip it over and be able to see what I'm creating underneath. And for right now, I'm just going to put this paper underneath. This is what we're going to be inking in a second. So you want to make sure that your jelly plate is firmly adhered to your plexiglass. And then I'm going to use some distress inks. I think I'm going to start with mustard seed, and my plan here is to move my stencil a little bit as I go. That's my thinking anyway at this juncture. And that was just regular distress ink in mustard seed. You're just going to want to make sure that your plate is really well covered and that there's no lines. Sometimes your ink pad will leave little weird lines. You want to make sure you use a brayer. And this is called a speedball brayer. It's a 4" brayer, and it does a nice job of doing this project, as I'm sure you've seen a lot of them in the past. And okay, my paper is what I'm going to use. This is 110-pound Recollections Heavyweight cardstock. I'm lining my stencil up on the bottom edge, and then what you're going to want to do is kind of tap it down so that it's really well adhered. You don't want it to come off if you can avoid it while you're doing this. Well, you want it to come off, but not right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper, just basic scrap paper, and I'm just going to tap it here and there so that some of the ink comes off, and I have maybe a little bit lighter image, but still I'm going to have the image I want. Now, here's the thing that's really important when I'm doing this. It's kind of crooked. I'm going to have to remember that, but the thing I want to remember is my placement. And I'm going to place my piece of paper that's 6 by 6 right up against the edge of my stencil. That way I know on the right edge. That way I'm going to know exactly where it was when I did this. And I'll show you why in a second, why that makes a big difference, or a little bit of difference. It makes some difference. And I'm just going to make sure I'm holding it with one hand, rubbing with the other so the paper doesn't move, hopefully. Oh, that's pretty. See how I have lighter colors and darker colors from doing what I did before? Okay, then I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to put it on my paper over here, just so I can kind of wipe off any of the ink off the back. It doesn't make that big a difference, but I don't want a lot of that yellow sticking behind. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back. Oh, jeez, I forgot the ink. Holy cow. I'm going to use carved pumpkin this time. And this time I'm going to take some of it off before I put the stencil down. My goal is going to be to see if I can make if I can move the stencil a little bit, and so the lines that were on here will kind of fade off into the background, if that makes sense. Okay. So remember before we lined it up on this edge after we put the stencil down. I can't decide if I want to just put it down without the stencil. I think I'm going to put it down without the stencil this time, and then just go for a second color on here. Hopefully it's going to make the yellow a little bit richer. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing right now. That's kind of cool. That got rid of all of my lines. So now I'm going to take an even darker color, and it's this rusty hinge. I don't know, should I go with that? Maybe I think I have another pumpkin color that's a little bit darker. This is called Pumpkin Pie. It's a Stampin' Up! Ink. And this time, make sure it's nice and even. Definitely is darker, that's good. We're going to put our rose back on it, and a little bit, oh, I got another little fuzzy thing, a little bit to the left, just a teeny tiny bit. And then this way, we'll make sure, I'm going to wipe off the edges. This way we'll be sure to have the darkest color, hopefully, and I'm going to line it back up on that edge of that stencil, but I'm going to move it a teeny bit to the right, like that. I hope it's enough. We'll see what we get. Our goal here is to get a rose that has a little less of the line than it had before. Okay. Ooh, that's frisky. Are you digging it? I am too. If you're not, I am. Okay, here's what we're going to do with it next. Because I went with all these different colors of oranges and yellows, what I thought would be fun to do would be to take my colored pencils and play with those so that we can have more highlights on our rose. I'm going to spray a little water on my jelly plate to get it cleaned off. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a lot of ink still left on that. Can you see that? Let me put this under it and maybe you can see it then. Can you see how dark that is? There is a lot on there left. I know a lot of other people would have been all worried about wasting that ink. I'm not that girl. I'm the girl that goes, I gotta wipe that off and get that cleaned fast. I'm also gonna spray this because it's ink. If you put it on another piece, you're gonna end up having it transferred. Now, paints won't do that on a plastic stencil. They'll just basically adhere to the stencil and make the stencil thicker, you know, more durable. But inks will not. Inks will come off on your next project, so just make sure you remember that. Just remember, Sandy told you, don't forget. Okay, now I'm going to take the jelly plate's clean. I'm going to put my plastic piece back on it, and then I can put it away. Because our next step is we're going to take our, almost forgot where I put it, we're going to take our rose and my pencils. These are my favorite pencils in regular color pencils. They are made by Prismacolor, magnet, and I have a really big set of them. I like them a lot more than any other color pencil, and if you're in the market for colored pencils, they have small sets all the way up to great big sets. So, you know, if you're in the market, I'm just giving you a little heads up about that. I'm going to go in. This color is just orange. think I might want to go in with some yellow. Let's see if bright yellow will make a difference. Kind of brighten our colors. I'm going to try this one. It's called Cream. Okay, now I'm going to put in a little bit, I don't mean a lot, a little bit of this color, and it is Poppy Red. Took me a second there to figure that out. I can always go over this with Vaseline if I don't like my lines, you know, like if you have lines or Gamsol, you can do Gamsol instead of Vaseline, or baby oil, you can do that as well. I've never been a big fan of using baby oil because the baby oil seems to bleed through my paper and make it hard to adhere. So that's why I like the Vaseline, and I might do some Vaseline on this to blend in. I don't know if you could tell that, but I was really kind of pushing hard on this because I wanted to make sure I have a really strong edge if I can get it. Okay, in order to do this, you're going to only put the tip of the pencil in the Vaseline, and I only use this jar, as you can tell, for this. And then I'm going to just kind of go around the edges of that poppy red that we just used. And I think this will add just enough of a color, and it'll blend out that poppy enough that it won't be I won't have such a weird edge. Digging it. I don't know if you can see how this kind of blends the colors together a little bit so there's not those fine lines or wrinkly lines. You couldn't do this with really thin paper or thinner paper. You're going to need to have a good thick cardstock, and I like Michael's Recollection cardstock. It's not that expensive, and I can do the techniques I want to do on it, and I don't seem to have any real problems doing it. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty happy with my rose. Don't know why I decided to sing that to you, but I did. Now I'm going to wipe off the excess, because who needs a Vaseline card going in the mail, you know what I mean? Okay, next up, I made some layers and decided I was going to put a little red layer there, and then I'm going to put the card base, which is a 5.5 inch square card base. And before I do that, what I decided I wanted to do is I want to make the outside border of this orange. So what I'm going to do is rub it. Hold on. Oh, well, why don't I just have that happen? Okay. Keep in mind that we only need to get the edges. Of course, this doesn't want to play with me. Remember how I told you on the other card, on the card, that you really need to have a thicker cardstock? Well, this is pre-made 5.5 inch card bases, and let me just be honest with you, they don't like to play. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna get some of the carved pumpkin. That was pumpkin pie, and this is carved pumpkin. And with this one, it's a really bright color. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to rub it on there, because I want my edge to be orange, and apparently that other color didn't want to play that game. I want to try and make sure that I don't get ink on the back of it, which I probably will, because you know me. That, I'm going to start. Since that other orange didn't work for me, we're going to go with that one. Then, last but not least, is this top section. And I want to make sure when I do that one that I have a piece of paper up there so I don't end up, I'm going to turn it sideways, so I don't end up getting that orange ink on the back of my card. This is my plan anyway. We will see if it works in just a second. Come on. That little spot just doesn't want to ink up. I think that's good. Close enough. Then we need to do our sentiment, and my sentiment, oh, I'm going to have to do a little bit more on my fold. I don't know if you can see that, but it's white. Should have done it this way to begin with, huh? I know what you're thinking. Gee, Sandy, get a grip. There you go. That's better. So my sentiment, first off, I made the piece, a layering piece. This is about 5 1/4, and this is about 5 3/8 inch square. And I'm gonna put it like that on our card. I might put fun foam under there because it'd be fun to raise it up a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this piece on. I saw a video where somebody used, they put a shim in. See, I have issues with this. Why I try to use it? I don't even know why I try to use it. Anyway, they used a shim, and the shim kept it so that the ink or the tape didn't come off. I thought that was a genius idea. And it's a cardboard piece that you put so that that wheel of tape doesn't move to the left, so it comes off the wheel, is what I think the shim is for. And if you just type in ATG gun and shim, if you have that problem where yours comes off, I'm just saying you might want to consider getting that, or doing that, because it's just a piece of cardboard that you cut in a circle, and I think it would really help you to make it look better. Okay, there's that much. Now, next up, we need to do our sentiment. I want to put in the inside of my card, stamp my pumpkin pie ink. Sentiment 2. Oh, it's a little crooked. Just ignore the crooked part, because you know, if I had to do it straight, I probably wouldn't be able to do it at all. And I think I'm going to do this in the carved pumpkin color, and I'm going to use this white strip, and I might color it too, but I don't know. At this juncture, I don't know. I'm going to take this off and put it on the front so I don't have to worry about it yet. And I'm going to put this on straight. Doesn't really matter if it's straight or not, or upside down or right side up. This color, this bright orange, I think will look better on the front. Okay, let's see how we did. There we go. Hope that each passing day brings you closer to a brighter tomorrow. This is for my girlfriend whose mom I had done all of those, I did the door decorations for, you know, the St. Patrick's Day and the Valentine's Day. Those door decorations were for her 96-year-old mother, and unfortunately her mom just passed away, so I wanted to make sure I'd made a card for her. I'm going to use my guillotine trimmer. And I think I'm just going to go maybe like, let's see, how big is this? It's about 4 inches. I think I'm going to make it a little bit shorter than that. On both ends. And under the cut bar. Can you see that? It's right there under that cut bar. I really need to clean this. And then I'm going to flip it over. Well, it was straight and now it's not. Okay, I got to fix that now. Jeepers creepers, Sandy, you're really doing great. I think that might be straighter. Yep, a little straighter. Let's see. There's that piece. I'm just going to do an orange border all the way around. Then after I do that, I'm going to put the whole thing up on, I'm going to put the whole thing up on foam. I'm just going to put this right across the center. I'll put that right down here. So here's our end result card. I think it looks really cute. I stamped my stamp on the back, and I made my own homemade envelope to match it. I hope you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.